Overwatch has got 10 million active users every month, and the game is 4.5 years old. What the hell? Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to the channel. All right, we need to talk about this because forever and ever, everybody is going on about Overwatch being a dying game. Overwatch is dead. Nobody plays Overwatch anymore. And honestly, that's not really true. And you can tell that anyway without any kind of statistics we can get from Activision Blizzard, which I will show you in this video in a second. But if you just try and go and play in the arcade, if you go and play, even in quick play, right, you'll get games really quick. I know competitive is a different kind of kettle of fish because if I want to play DPS in competitive, I've got to wait 10 minutes for a game. But that's only because the DPS is like it's about 3.7k at the moment. That's pretty high end for Overwatch in the grand scheme of things. At lower ranks, it isn't too bad, but it's still like a 5 or 6 minute wait, which isn't great. Tanks, on the other hand, pretty much get an instant queue at every rank, and supports, yeah, that can kind of deviate as well. Not as bad as DPS though, but it's not as good as supports. So yeah, you could argue who the hell is playing competitive. And in fact, by that extension, you could actually argue, well, if Overwatch has got all these players, where are all the Overwatch League viewers? But we'll get onto that in a second because I think that's super cool. So before we get stuck into that, let's talk about the facts, ladies and gentlemen. This is taken from Yahoo Finance, and this is what they say. Activision Blizzard, publisher of such high-profile games as Call of Duty and World of Warcraft franchises, reported its Q3 2020 earnings on Thursday, smashing analysts' expectations on the continued strength of its games portfolio amid the coronavirus pandemic. These are the top numbers from the company's report compared to what analysts were expecting in the quarter as compiled by Bloomberg. So their revenue, now get ready for this because the figure is massive. Like you can't even comprehend how much money this company makes. Revenue, 1.77 billion versus 1.67 billion, which was expected. So they massively overperformed by 100 million. Yeah. And earnings per share went up from went to $0.78 versus $0.64. It then goes on to say revenue from the firm's Activision's business has passed both its Blizzard and King arms, bringing in $773 million. Now remember, this is the way this company's set up. There's King, which makes Candy Crush. There's Blizzard, which makes all the games that we know. And there's Activision that makes all of like the Call of Duty and the other Activision games that there are, like, I think it's Crash Bandicoot Activision. I think it might be. But basically, it's Call of Duty, right? Anyway, the company said Modern Warfare had its highest first-year premium sales in the franchise history, and that 2/3 of units were shipped globally. So think of it this way. Call of Duty basically made $773 million. That is mad money. Like, and this is only in a quarter. This isn't a year. This is Q3. It's like the middle quarter of the year. It's just crazy. Absolutely crazy. Across both PC and console, hours played were up 7 times the same quarter a year ago. A massive increase that shows much Warzone and Modern Warfare have taken off. Earlier this month, Piper Sandler released the results of its Taking Stock with Teens survey, which, and get this guys, showed that Warzone has now overtaken Fortnite as the most popular free-to-play game among 9,800 teen respondents. So that's why Warzone is doing quite well. Anyway, we're about Overwatch. We don't care about the other games, not on this channel anyway. So let's get stuck into what has been said about Blizzard. So Blizzard, meanwhile, saw revenues of $411 million. Now, that is across everything. That's Warcraft, it's Hearthstone, it's Diablo, it's StarCraft, it's Heroes of the Storm, it's Overwatch. Think about what Activision have done with Call of Duty, right? So they kind of destroyed Blizzard basically with one game. I know Call of Duty isn't one game. There's like a bunch of different versions of it and all that stuff. Anyway, let's carry on with this. So, Blizzard saw a revenue of $411 million with Hearthstone monthly active users growing year over year and World of Warcraft monthly active users holding steady ahead of the launch of the franchise's Shadowlands expansion. And get this, Overwatch, for its part, had 10 million monthly active users. Right then, 10 million monthly active users. What the hell does this mean for Overwatch? Now, there is a lot of stuff we have no idea about here. We do not know how Blizzard class a monthly active user, or what they refer to as a MAU or MAUs. Now, if you log on to Overwatch, you become a monthly active user, or do you? Do you have to play a game of Overwatch? Is it simply the act of logging in? Do you have to, I don't know, win a game of Overwatch? Do you have to play 2 or 3 games of Overwatch? What is the quantifiable stat that makes you a monthly active user? Now, if I was to be very cynical about this, I would say this is literally somebody clicking on play Overwatch, whether you do that on your console or any of your consoles actually, or you do it on the PC. At that point, you become somebody who is a monthly active user of Overwatch if you do it every month. Now, what makes this impressive to me is Overwatch is 4.5 years old, and it's still able to attract 10 million basically logins, right? Now, I'm not sure that's the case. It might be. You have to go and play a game of Overwatch or whatever. It's not just a case of loading into the game, but I don't know. But like I said, me being cynical, it probably is, because companies like to report, I don't want to say inflate the stats, but they like to report the best stats. So yeah, if you click on that button, you become a monthly active user. That's what I'm going to roll with. Now, what makes this interesting to me is it's a 4.5-year-old game. And let's be honest here, there isn't really a change every month, I don't think, to make people go, oh, you know what? I'm going to jump on Overwatch. Now, we do get balance changes every month. We get, every couple of months, we get a seasonal event. Now, I'm sure that's what draws most people in. In between all of this, we've been getting those mini events, which maybe are tied to like a bit of lore, like a comic, or like, I don't know, a short story, right? We had the Anna one, we had the Mercy one, the Trace one. You know, there's been a few that we've had. They make people come back, right? They want to check it out. They want to take time and look at what's going on. But what interests me here is if you take that figure of 10 million and then you look at things like Overwatch League, there becomes a very clear disparity here. And I don't think this is because Overwatch League is bad. I love Overwatch League, but I know I am up there in the 1% of Overwatch fans. I mean, I'm probably way above the 1%. I've made loads of videos on Overwatch. I play it every day. I watch all the Overwatch League games. Like, I do everything. I watch contenders. Most people don't watch contenders. There's a lot of stuff that I do. And most people just play Overwatch. And they probably just play it casually, which isn't bad, which is totally fine. And they play quick play, they play arcade. Probably arcade is, I'd say, probably the most popular game mode. If I just had to pull a sort of figure out of my bum hole, it would be, yeah, arcade's probably the best thing to do. Simply because there's no pressure. Overwatch suffers with a couple of issues with you play competitive. You are kind of rolling the dice, like, am I going to get good teammates? Are there going to be people who want to play the heroes that we need for whatever team comp? Will they complement what we're doing? Will they play together in a team? Whereas in the arcade, none of that really matters. So yeah, why is this really good for Overwatch? It is showing us that people are super interested in the game. They might not, however, really care about Overwatch League, and that's a problem Blizzard have got. They need to somehow get people majorly invested in Overwatch League if they want that to succeed, because it's kind of been struggling, especially with the COVID times where a lot of the other esports have been growing. Overwatch League has kind of been going down, which isn't great, but the game itself is doing really well. Now, the other thing we've got here is Overwatch 2 should be coming out sometime soon. When that happens, surely that's going to make a massive increase to these monthly active users. If the game can still hold 10 million with, I'm just going to straight up say it, extremely minimal content. The game has been on live support for, 18 months now. We've not really seen any major content. All the major content is being pumped into Overwatch 2. Now, Blizzard, and I'm going to completely take my hat off to Blizzard here, they make awesome content, and they will for Overwatch 2. Can you imagine how good it's going to be playing through these missions, right? Compared to what we've been getting as the absolute bare minimum Blizzard is willing to put out there on live Overwatch for the last 18 months or so, maybe even 2 years. It should be incredible. And then we've got the specter of what about sending the whole PvP aspect of Overwatch 2 free to play? That would increase the monthly active user numbers into like the stratosphere. Because I can guarantee to you guys that Call of Duty is probably trending at something like 200 million monthly active users. That would be across all of its games, its mobile game, Warzone, Call of Duty itself, and all of that stuff. Whereas Overwatch, sitting there at 10 mil, it's not that great. It needs to sort it out. So maybe there's been pressure from the finance team at Blizzard Activision or Activision Blizzard going, you know what, guys, you need to go free to play. Now, free to play is a discussion we can have forever. There are pros and cons on that. Cons, well, you get a lot of hackers probably. Pros, you've got more people playing your game. I mean, it's interesting, right? We'll have to wait and see where this goes. But the fact is, Overwatch is in a pretty good place right now for a game on live support, and that is staggering to me. You know, if I'd seen this report and it came in and it said that, you know what, Overwatch has got 1 million monthly active users, I'd have been like, well, yeah, that kind of makes sense to me. But 10, that makes me think, okay, this is pretty significant for the game. But as I said at the top of this video, we're not entirely sure what a monthly active user actually is. Is it someone just logging in, or is it someone actually playing games of Overwatch? All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's been a fun one to put together because it's nice to have a bit of positive news out there for Overwatch. And I'm hoping, finally, when Overwatch 2 news comes out, I'm going to lose my mind and it's just going to be beautiful and not a disaster, because that would kind of not be great. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. Remember, you can sub to the channel, like it, and all of that stuff if you really did enjoy the content. It super helps the video, and leaving a comment below helps as well. So let me know what you think about the whole, well, Overwatch has apparently got 10 million players every month. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Toodaloo.